everyone. I thought I would just jump on here quickly and follow up a post I made a week ago. A lot of you have not seen me, and a lot of you have not heard me from the last 12 months. And firstly, I was just so blessed and kind of humbled by the reaction to that post, but then also I think more people and more messages that came through was just for a greater sense of clarity. So I'm not going to say everything, because I think that would be really unhealthy for myself and probably for a lot of you out there. But I think also it would be really helpful for a lot of you who follow our music, who follow me, I guess, in a racing context, who follow me in a worshipping context within church. And so I think it'd be really, really good just to shed some light. The last time probably a lot of you saw me was when I was leaving London off for a big new adventure, and I still have shivers down my spine those last couple of weeks, because it was like the end of an epic movie, and getting to the end of that project, getting to the end of that season was just incredible, and kind of leaving that wanting to go and get more, to wanting to see more of the promises of God, and wanting to see more, wanting to learn more, but very, very quickly it turned into a situation which has been really rare for me over the years, where it didn't work out. And I think that's like a theme of this video, that actually it didn't work out. And if I was going to title this video anything, it would be "It Didn't Work Out." And actually, the brutal truth is I've probably learned more from that experience than I probably have from any other experience. And I guess another reason of doing this is just, I think, to share that experience in some small way before I kind of move on. So some people out there just know that there's peace and there's joy and there's hope in something not working out. My life is very much being project orientated. I'm always moving on to the next thing. I'm always walking towards the other thing. I'm always racing here and racing there. But actually, when the moment came along where it didn't work out, I had to stop. And for the first time probably in about 6 years, I had to fully stop, and it was almost like a hot knife through butter. And firstly, and I think part of my post last week was like, I would not have got through that experience if it wasn't for some of you guys. And some of you know who you are, but even some of you might not know who you are. And just at the time, just a real message, or a 30-second call, or a picture sent by someone, or a message, or a scripture sent by someone, it meant so much, and it meant more to me than I can ever express. And especially as one of the reasons it didn't work out, and being bluntly honest, was because of me. I failed in areas that I did not expect to fail in, and I know that has put additional weight in some of you and some of my closest people around me. And for that, all I can say is that I am truly sorry, and I've made those apologies before that, and I'm going to make these apologies for after that. All that I can say is that I've learned from that, and moving forward, it's made me a stronger, better person. I think the bigger thing, though, is when it didn't work out and it didn't go to plan, I really found myself in a place that was really scary for a bit. For the first time, probably in about 6 years, I woke up in the morning and I didn't know if I wanted to wake up. And originally, there was a lot of days spent inside the house, and it took a lot to get out. And again, I would have not have been able to step outside the front door without support from a lot of you. And actually, a big part of that, not only friendship, was actually racing again. For those of you who don't know, and I've kind of plugged it here and there, but actually, over the years, I've been very involved in league racing, and I'm a massive Formula 1 fan. And so actually going back to that in a weird way was so healing, and it's so important. This quest that I had to win the World Championship, which eventually we succeeded in the back end of 2023. But actually going back to that, and going back to that place of discipline and learning and growing, has just been amazing. So massive shout out to all the guys at Speed 4 Racing. You are a big part of the reason why I'm sitting where I am today. But going through that experience of something not working out, I think you really learn who you are, and you really, and more importantly, learn who you are in God. And what does his faithfulness actually mean to you? What does his grace mean to you? What does his redeeming love mean to you? And at the start of the year, I was, every year I kind of pray, and every year I kind of have a verse for the year. And this is kind of a really good illustration, but the verse was Psalm 143, verse 10, and it says, "Teach me to do your good will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground." And I for some reason, I kind of just highlight that part in my Bible where it says, "Lead me on your level ground." Hilariously enough, 2 days later, I actually broke my leg. So this idea of me being led on level ground all of a sudden was put at risk. For those of you who might not have seen me, but at the start of the year, I was in a cast. Sorry, not a cast. I was in a brace, and I was in a wheelchair for a bit. And I can happily say that I've gone through my whole life without an operation, without crutches, without needing surgery or anything like that. And that was a really scary experience. And it was kind of at the point actually where I felt like I was finally getting my life back together. We had made plans in the pipeline, and all of this stuff has come a couple months too late because of what happened. But actually through that experience, it was just a really, really incredible example of like, okay, God, I actually can't walk, and I actually can't go anywhere, and the stability that I've been growing, actually, it's another reminder of, God, would you lead me on your level ground? That idea where it talks about, Psalm 143, where it says, Lord, teach me to do your good will. And if I can give a piece of advice to anyone out there, is learn to be a teachable person. Learn to be taught his goodwill. Learn to be fostered in the amazing grace that he offers us. In this time of Lent, where we're leading up to Resurrection Sunday, and we're thinking about what Jesus sacrificed, maybe during this time is a time to think about, what have we been through, and what are we going through, and are we letting God teach us? I heard this great quote the other day where it says, you thought you were building a cottage, but in actual fact, he is building you a palace. And I love that, and I think that's so wholesome, and that actually be on the journey, enjoy the journey. There's joy in the journey. And I know a lot of you might have different beliefs or different foundations, but I know that there's joy on the journey, and it's learning to have joy on the journey, learning to be comfortable with who you are, and more importantly, what your identity is in. So that kind of leads me on to the next part with the question of what's next. So there's a lot of things happening. One of them I've kind of mentioned a little bit earlier is that I am indeed racing. I'm back racing for Alpine, which is really, really exciting. There's another Instagram channel which you can go and follow, and the races are being streamed live. So all you racing guys, please do get involved with that. Please don't give that a follow. That's a complete new journey for me to kind of publicize that journey. And we've got some more exciting things. And the other big elephant in the room is music. So a lot of you, and it still touches my heart that you guys have been asking about what's happening with music and what's going on, and is this going to happen or is this going to happen? So I'm really excited to say that I am finishing off a project, which is super exciting. It's actually a project I started before I moved out of London, it's coming at some point. It was probably planned to start at the start of the year, but actually, because of my leg and everything that's just happened, moving house as well, that's probably something that's going to be pushed back to later in the year, but do know it is coming. And people have asked about shows, and I think I just want to address the whole when are you going to play shows thing. Shows is a big commitment, and shows is a lot of rehearsal, because when you guys come and see us play, whether that's with a band or whether that's me on my own, It takes a lot of preparation, and we want to make sure you guys have the best experience possible when you guys come out and see us play music. So can I say that it will happen at some point? It is kind of disappointing because maybe you came on here thinking we're going to announce some tour dates or whatever, but actually do know that it is in the pipeline. But there is stuff coming. But more than ever, and kind of the whole point of this is like, let this just be an encouragement from someone who went through stuff that didn't work out, for someone who had a vision that was broken, and know that you can come out the other side. Bless you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon.